This is a help video for the 9.04 stats project. If you will remember, in 9.01, we selected 20 data values, and we used those 20 data values for 9.01 stats project, 9.02, 9.03, and we're going to use those same 20 values. So when we look at the formula that's given, it says use the data that you collected in part 1, that's your 9.01 assignment, to complete this portion of the project. In this portion of the stats project, you will use the standard deviation. That is this symbol. And the sample size, and that's going to be your N value, and we're all going to put 20 in for that because we selected 20 data values to begin with. You're going to use the formula below to calculate the margin of error as well as using this z-score table. So you don't have to Google a z-score table like we did in the 9.03 assignment. The table's actually been given for you. And then Z stands for your z-score. So I am going to do, I'll do the first two using my information. So the information that I got from my data was that my standard deviation was 16. So we'll be using 16 in this formula. You're going to be using whatever your standard deviation is. And then we're all going to be using the same N because we all use 20 numbers. So I'll write the formula down, Z times standard deviation divided by the square root of N. And this is what you're going to put in your calculator. So for number 1, it says the margin of error, find the margin of error at an 80% confidence level. So you'll go up to your table. You'll look under the left column where it says desired confidence level. You'll look at 80%. You'll go across, and then this will be the z-score that we use for number 1 because they're saying what's the margin of error for a desired confidence level of 80%. So we're going to use 1.28 for our z. Times, and when I enter this in the calculator, I am going to use parentheses. You're going to put your standard deviation that you found in assignment 9.02. Mine was 16. And then we're going to divide that by the square root of N, which is our number of values, and we're all going to use 20 for that. I want to show you probably the best way to enter this in your calculator. You're going to do 1.28 times, and then use that left parentheses, whatever your standard deviation is, divided by. On your TI-84 to get square root, it's the second function on your x squared, so you'll have to do second x squared. You'll put the 20 in, and then you will have to arrow to the right if you're using your TI-84 to get out from underneath the square root key, and then do a right parentheses. And then I'm getting about 4.58. 4.58. And remember, you're going to use your own standard deviation, but everything else will be the same. The 1.28 will be the same for you because we're getting that from our chart for an 80% confidence level. The z-score is 1.28. The 20 is the same because we were all asked to pick 20 numbers to begin with, and the only thing that's going to be different is your standard deviation. All right, let's go ahead and look at number 2. Let's make sure they don't tell us any specifics on how to round. So just round to 2 places. That'll be fine, or 1. Number 2 says find the margin of error. So again, we're going to use the formula Z times standard deviation divided by the square root of N. This time our margin of error needs to be 85% confidence. So we'll go back up to our table. We'll look at 85% confidence. We'll go over. That's going to give us a z-score of 1.44. So we'll start by subbing in 1.44 for our z-score times, we'll use parentheses here. My standard deviation is 16. You'll use whatever yours is. And then the square root of the number of data points, which is 20, close parentheses. And then we'll enter this in our calculator. 1.44 times, always safe to use parentheses when you have another operation going on. 16 divided by square root 20. Arrow to the right to get it out from underneath that square root. Close your parentheses. And then I'm going to round to the hundredths, which is that 5. So that's going to be 5.15. And then you're going to do the same thing for number 3, number 4, and number 5. Just read the problem. This 3 is going to change to a 90% confidence level. So that's going to change your z-score. 4 is going to change to a 95% confidence level. So that's going to change your z-score. And then 99% confidence level, that will also change your z-score. I will give you a little hint here that your answer should increase a little bit because the percent of confidence level is increasing.